All right, this will be my last video for this year. So the final exam. All right, number 1, find the zeros of the function by factoring. So first thing I notice is I could take a 2 out of all of these. So if I take a 2 out, I'm going to set this equal to 0 because that's what finding the zeros means. Now I'm going to factor this inside part. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiplied to give me 9, but add to give me -6. So I'm going to list my factors, 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. The middle number is negative, so the right side is negative. I'm multiplying to get a positive, so these are negative also. So -3 and -3. We're just going to divide by x. So I'm dividing by x because there's no number in front of x squared, it's just a 1. So now my two factors are x minus 3, x minus 3. So then you set each one of these equal to 0. They're the same. So I'm just going to set 1 equal and add 3 over. Number 2, write the exponential equation in logarithmic form. So let's do one of these first where we go the other way and then we'll go backwards. So exponential form, you just start at the base. So 11 to the 0 power equals 1. Let's do this one. 4 to the -2 power equals 0.625. So then these were going the other way. So we write log, the base is 5, so I'll put a 5 here, and then 125 equals 3. And then double check yourself. 5 to the 3rd equals 125, so we're good. Okay, number 4, express the following as a single logarithm. Simplify if possible. So subtraction is division. So I'm going to rewrite this as 256 divided by 8. Now I can go ahead and divide that. Sorry, I forgot my calculator. So if I divide that, 256 divided by 8, I get 32. So now I have log 232 equals x because it says simplify. So really this is what I have. I'm looking for 2 to what power equals 32. So you can go ahead and set it up like this if you want. 2 to what power equals 32, and I know that's 5. You can do change of base. So log 32 divided by log 2. So it's log of the big number divided by log of the small number. Either way, that will give you 5 as well in your calculator. Let's do C. So addition is multiplication. So 8 times 16. So log 2, 128. So I'll do this one the other way. I'll do log 128 divide by log 2. Log 128, close parentheses, divided by log, excuse me, 2. Now notice I close the parentheses here and then also here, and I get 7. All right, number 5, solve the following. So you can set this equal to x if you want. Okay, so then I can do the circle. So 6 to what power equals 36 to the -2. So you could change the base to be the same, which is what we're going to do down here anyway, so you could do that. So I could make this 6 to the x equals 6 squared, -2. So cross out the bases, x equals -4. So the other thing you could do is do that change of base formula. We'll do it on this one. So I can do log of the big number, which is this, divide by log of the base. So if I do that, log 343 raised to the 3rd divided by log 7, and I get 9. So you could do that also. Okay, so number 6, A, B, and C, all the same. You're just going to make the base the same. So let's do one of them. Let's do B. So I'm going to make this 5 squared, and I can make this 5 to the 3rd. Cross out the bases. 6x equals 3x plus 3. Make sure you distribute that 3. So subtract the 3x. 3x equals 3. Divide by 3, and x equals 1. Okay, number 7, log. So on the left here, I can combine these using division. So So this is going to be log 2 x to the 14th over x to the 4th equals 37. Now these I can subtract. So that becomes log 2 x to the 10th equals 37. Now I have a log on one side, I'm going to put it in exponential form. So 2 to the 37th equals x to the 10th. And we say, well, how do I get rid of this 10? We're going to do the 10th root. So in your calculator, mine will look a little different than yours. It's math, number 5. Remember, you have to arrow over, and you're going to put that 10 in for that A and S, and then do 2 to the 37th. And I got 12.996. Okay, number 8. The value of a $3,000 computer decreases about 30% each year. Write a function for the computer's value. So it's decreasing, so I'm going to use this formula. So A equals 3,000 is the original value times 1 minus, I'm going to take the decimal and move it 2 places to the left, so 0.3, and then I'm just going to leave it as t. Now that's going to go ahead and combine, so I'm going to do 1 minus 0.3, and I got 0.7. So A equals 3,000 times 0.7 to the t power. Number 9, the value of a $150,000 house increases. How much will the house be worth in 6 years? So we're going to find capital A. So it starts as 150,000. It's increasing. Move the decimal place over, so 0.07 to the 6th power. And that you can just put in your calculator. So 1 plus 0.07 to the 6th. So 225,109, we'll say 55 cents. Number 10, distance varies directly as time because as time increases, the distance traveled increases. So the speed of sound in air is 335 feet per second. How long would it take for sound to travel 6,700 feet? So all we have to do is do 6,700 divided by 335. And I got 20, and that's going to be seconds. Number 11, at a lemonade stand, the profit P varies directly with the number of cups of lemonade sold. So if the profit is 10.25, okay, so direct variation is y equals k times x. So we just write this in order. Profit equals k times c, the number of cups. So we're going to plug in profit. So I have 10.25 equals k times 41. I'm going to divide by 41 to find out what k is. So k is 0.25. Now it says what's the profit when 25 cups of lemonade are sold. So I'm going to go back to my formula here. Profit equals k, which we found, times the 25 cups. So $6.25. Number 12, simplify, identify any values for which the expression is undefined. So values where it's undefined are where the bottom equals 0 because we cannot have 0 on the bottom. So in order to find those undefined values, we're going to set the bottom equal to 0. So I'm going to solve for y, add 2 over, so y cannot equal 2. So there's the undefined value. Now let's simplify this. I'm going to factor the top here. So I'm going to take out a 4y. I'm left with y minus 2 over y minus 2. The y minus 2's cancel, and I'm left with 4y. So here's my simplified answer, and here's my undefined values. Number 13. We'll do B. So division is multiplication, for division, we're going to flip and multiply the second fraction. So this is going to become 4a squared over 3b times 9b squared over 8a cubed b. So now you can cross things out, remember top and bottom, so either above and below or across like this. So I'm going to change colors here. 4 goes into 4 once, and 4 goes into 8 twice. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. I've got 1b here, so that's going to make that a b. And I've got 2 a's here, which will make that an a to the first. So let's see what we have here. I've got a 3b on top and I've got a 2ab on bottom. Now these b's also cross out, so 3 over 2a. Now I'm going to do it a different way over here that I think works a little bit better. So first let's rewrite it. Times, I'm going to flip the second fraction, and I'm going to put tops together and bottoms together. That way it's not so messy. So on top I have 3 times 5, and then I have x to the 8th, y to the 9th, over 5 times 9 is 45, x to the 7th, and 1y. So this way you can see your x's and y's all together. This one was a little bit messy. So now 15 over 45 reduces to 1/3. These 7 x's cross out and make this a 1, and this crosses out with one of these and makes it an 8. So this is just an x y to the 8th over 3. That one might be a little bit easier. All right, number 14, we're going to solve. So since I have a denominator here, let's multiply that x plus 3 over here. So it goes away here. X squared minus 3x minus 18 equals negative 9 times x plus 3. So I'm going to distribute the negative 9. So negative 9x minus 27. Since I have a quadratic, let's move everything over. So I'm going to add the 9x to the 3x, and I'm going to add the 27 to the 18. So x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0. We're going to factor. So what times what gives us 9, but adds to give us 6 would be 3 and 3. So x plus 3 equals 0. Set one of those equal to 0 and solve. So if you subtract 3, you get negative 3. Now it says check your answer. If I plug this negative 3 in right here, negative 3 plus 3 is 0. I can't divide by 0. So this is actually no solution. So make sure on your final exam that you check your answers. Every time you're solving an equation, you get something, check your answer. Okay, number 15, adding. So this is where a lot of you guys struggled. So the first thing we're going to do is factor this denominator here. So this becomes x minus 8 times x plus 7. So you have an x minus 8 here, and here you have x minus 8 and x plus 7. So we need a common denominator, which means this one is missing the x plus 7. So we've done this a couple ways. I'm going to multiply the common denominator by both. So I'm going to go x minus 8, x plus 7 to the first fraction. And I'm going to go x minus 8, x plus 7 to the second fraction. So in the first fraction, the x minus 8 cancels. So now I just have this, x plus 7 times x plus 3, plus, on the second fraction, they both cancel. So I just have negative 13x minus 61. Now I'm just going to simplify. Oh, you know what? I was solving. Ugh. They don't want them to cancel. Sorry. Let's do B. So sorry. Let's do this one. So this is going to be n plus 8, n plus 1. I still need a common denominator. This one is missing the n plus 1. So I multiply n plus 1 over n plus 1. So now I have 5n plus n plus 6 over n plus 1 over my common denominator. So the common denominator is n plus 8 times n plus 1. So you just simplify the top here. So this becomes 5n plus n squared plus 7n plus 6 over the common denominator. And I can combine like terms, n squared plus 12n plus 6 over my common denominator, n plus 8, n plus 1. There we go. So if you look at my key, I'll fix this one. All right, number 16, identify the zeros and vertical asymptotes, then graph. So the zeros come from the numerator equal to 0 and you solve. The vertical asymptotes come from the denominator, you set equal to 0 and solve. So the numerator is the top, x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals 0. So we're going to factor x minus 5, x plus 1 equals 0. So I set each of these equal to 0. So I get x equals 5, and x equals negative 1. The denominator is just x plus 1. so x equals -1. So this is your vertical asymptote. These are your zeros. Now the graphing, just do that in your calculator. So if you go to y equals, and I'm going to do the top, x squared minus 4x minus 5, and then divide by x plus 1, and then graph it. So it's multiple choice, so you should be able to see what happens. This one is just a straight line. Some of them are straight lines, some of them aren't. But you should be able to determine which one it is looking at your multiple choice answers. Okay, number 17, solve the equation. So now I'm solving. I just want to get rid of this x, so I'm going to multiply by x on both sides. So that crosses out. Now be careful because it distributes here. So x squared plus 8x equals -12. I'm going to add the 12 over and factor. So x plus 6, x plus 2 equals 0. Set each one of those equal to 0 and solve. So x equals -6, x equals -2. Now on this one, the denominators are the same. So we can just go like this. 3x equals x plus 8. Subtract this x over and divide. So x equals 4. Number 19, we want to simplify the radicals. So this would be 25 times 5, 5 times 5. There's a pair of 5s. Multiply it with that -2. So -10 root 5 minus, there's a pair of 3s, so 3 root 5. If the roots are the same, I can combine the numbers in front. So -10 minus 3 is -13 root 5. Number 20, I'm just going to multiply by the radical on the bottom. So root 2 over root 2. Multiply across the top. The 7 has to stay by itself, but I can multiply the radicals together. So 6. On the bottom, I just get 2, and that's it. 22 is a multiplying one, so you're going to multiply the front numbers together, or the outsides together, and then multiply the insides together. But then you have to simplify. So 48, I think 48 is 16, yeah. 3 times 16, so there's a pair of 4s. So 4 times -8 is -32, square root 3. Okay, complex numbers. On this one, let's pull out that I. So it's going to be I root 18. And then you just simplify the 18. 2 and 9, 3 and 3. So 3I root 2. This one is special because it has an I outside. So when you bring out that I, now it's I squared. I squared equals -1. So instead of a -2, this becomes a +2 root 7. On these, you're going to divide by 4. So remember, every multiple of 4 is 1. So I to the 0 is 1. I to the first is just I. I to the second is -1. And I to the third is -I. So you divide by 4. So I'll do this one. 62 divided by 4 is 15.5. So I take that 15, multiplied by 4 is 60. So I go I to the 60, and my leftover is 2. So I look at this. I squared is -1. Okay. Let's see. These are the same. You just bring out the i's. So 2I root 16 plus 3I root 25. We know the square root of 16 is 4, so this becomes 8I. Square root of 25 is 5, so 15I, and add those together, 23I. Number 31, you just combine like terms, so it's just 15I. 32, distribute the 2 and then combine like terms. Be careful because it's a -2. On this one, pull out the negative, so it's I root 64 over 121. And then you can take the square root of both of those, so 8 over 11. When you be careful here or here, so here I'm going to square the 6, so I have 6 squared and I have I squared, which is 36I squared, but I squared is -1, so that becomes -36. Okay, finding the vertex. So this you're going to put just in your calculator. So the vertex is the lowest or highest point on a graph. So when I graph this, like that, the vertex is this low point here. So this is a minimum. So I'm going to go second trace, and I want to find what that minimum is. So it asks me to go left bound. So go left a little bit, right a little bit, and then I want to go right on it. So the vertex is -3, -1. Number 40, find the zeros by factoring. So take that third number, -21. List your factors. The middle number is positive, so the right side's positive, but I'm multiplying to get a negative, so these are negative. So this is my choice here, because it adds to give me +4, and divide by x. So x minus 3, x plus 7, and then set each one of those equal to 0. So x equals 3, and x equals -7. Quadratic formula, let's do this one. So x equals, so this is a, b, and c. So x equals -b plus or minus the square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now be careful on that b if it's a negative like this one. When you plug it into here, a lot of you guys make that mistake of forgetting to put it in parentheses to square it. So if we simplify that sum, so I'm just going to put the inside in my calculator. So 6 squared minus 4 times a times c. And it doesn't like that because it is, what? Oh, all right, it doesn't like that. There we go, -4. So square root -4 over 4. So this comes out and is an I, so -6 plus or minus I square root 4 over 4. Square root of 4 is 2, so -6 plus or minus 2i over 4. And I can take a 2 out of all three of these. So this becomes a -3, a 1, and a 2. So my final answer, -3 plus or minus 1i over 2. Okay, number 43, we want to get that radical by itself. So I'm going to add the 3 over. So square root x minus 6 equals 6. To get rid of a square root, we square both sides. So x minus 6 equals 36. Add 6, so x equals 42. Now 44 is a little bit special because you already have that radical by itself, so we want to square both sides. So x plus 31 equals, and now you have to write this out twice. So x plus 31 equals x squared plus 2x plus 1. So I'm going to subtract these two over. Okay, so we're going to subtract over the x and the 31. So now I have, come down here, 0 equals x squared plus x minus 30. So I'm going to factor that, which is going to be x plus 6, x minus 5, and then just solve for those. So x is going to equal -6, and x will equal 5. So this is a good one to practice too because it's the same as this one. 47, we're just going to square root to get rid of the square. So x equals plus or minus, don't forget that. This negative means I'm going to have an I, and the square root of 25 is 5. So what you'd usually see is just plus or minus 5i. Number 49 and 50, the one difference here is this is being multiplied, so I'm going to divide by it first. So now I have cube root of 7x minus 1 equals 2. To get rid of the cube, the cube root, we cube both sides. So 7x minus 1 equals 8, and then you would just solve for x. Now this one, the 4 is being added, so I'm going to subtract the 4 over. So cube root x plus 5 equals 3, and now we're going to cube both sides. So x plus 5 equals 27, and then solve for x. Finding the inverse. So we're going to switch x and y here. So this is going to become x equals log -2y. Now on a log equation, our inverse should be an exponential. So my base is 10, so I go 10 to the x equals -2y, and I'm going to divide by -2. So my inverse is 10 to the x over -2. Now these basic ones, switch x and y, and then solve for y. So subtract 1 and divide by -4. Composition of functions, you just take the 2 and put it into the f equation. So it would be 2 times 2 squared plus 5, which is 8 plus 5, which is 13. And then you take the 13 and put it into the g equation. So 3 times 13 plus 2 is 41, and that's your answer. And then this one without a number, you take the whole f equation, put it into g. So the whole f equation is 2x squared plus 5. I'm going to put it into the x in the g equation. So 2x squared plus 5, close parentheses, plus 2. So distribute, and just combine like terms. And that's it. So the review key is on the teacher web as well, my teacher web as well, along with, of course, this video. If you have any questions, I'll make sure you come in and see me before or after school one day.